Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. My name is Master Lash of Black Company. I've been in the SCA for over 3 decades as a fringy, a mercenary, and have recently been elevated to Master of Arms. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to showcase those that don't get noticed or have fell through the cracks. Like my current guest, Her Excellency Lady Vincetta of Greyhold, aka Tina Lohman. She's the head of an extremely successful mercenary household built by her own 2 hands. Not only did she do this as a woman, but also as a mercenary and a fighter. She's a retired nurse, a professional photographer, a rancher, and an all-around badass. She is a unique and wonderful, loving member of my family, and she has a unique perspective on being a fringy and a woman leader. She has seen some amazing things in our game, and some that's not so great. But without further ado, I give to you the short titan, Lady Vincetta of Greyhold. Hello, sweetie. How'd you like that entry?
Wow, I'm impressed. Salutations.
That got me all fired up.
I know. What are we looking for? Candy bacon or something? Is it a return here? Am I paying for this? What?
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, I've been in the game 4 decades. I started in my 20s. I was turned on to it because I used to do sci-fi conventions. And the dark ones, which they were called at conventions, would hold a party. And they would talk about the SCA. They were stag-hold in the game. And they were like, you need to come out and check it out. And so I did. And that's pretty much how I got sucked into this.
And and that's how you got started?
Yeah, I kind of showed up to an Estrella, was out in the middle of nowhere camping, and watched and was enthralled because I've always had a love of the Middle Ages. So to me, this was just like stepping into it. Granted, some ugly realities in the future happened, but my love for it has never changed. And that feeling of being able to step into a time period that I adore. And that's what's kept me going.
So talking about that, what are some of the challenges you faced?
My gender was the biggest challenge. When I decided that I wanted to start a household, I was told no, which is the stupidest thing to tell me, because telling me no is telling me I'm going to do it. And I decided I wanted a household. And that's what I did. A lot of work, a lot of abuse. But you learned, I think my beginnings as a photographer had toughened my skin, because you can be ripped apart being critiqued about one picture. So you learn, okay, take the good criticism and ignore the bad criticism.
So what was the biggest holdup for doing having your own household? What was the biggest stumbling block when you were trying to build it?
The biggest stumbling block were probably certain male peers who did not want me there, period. And to that point, really tried to trash our household. I mean, in public ways, saying things that were completely untrue. And it got to be where we, you're going to come into our camp and you're going to meet us and you're going to see what we really are, or you're going to listen to these people who actually don't even know who we really are. They're just mad that a woman thinks she's got the gonads to do it. And then when you come,
go ahead.
And then when you get the people that walk in and they see how it's being run and the fun people are having, and that there's a lot of laughter that goes on in our household. There's, there's certain rules we have, like there is no small job. Every job you do is important. If you're taking out the trash, that is so important because you're keeping the flies away from the encampment. That's really, really important. Nobody wants flies around their food. They don't want to be bothered by flies. If you are the one that's doing the dishes, oh my God, that's a very important job. And actually one of the best jobs because it's the only time your hands are really super clean. So that's like, that's the job everybody wants. I'll wash dishes tonight because your nails are dirty and everything. And by the time you're done with dishes, you're like looking at your hands going, that's what they look like. Okay, I forgot.
So, so what are some of your accomplishments that you've done? And I know there's a lot, but.
Well, I think the fact that we established ourselves as a worthy mercenary household is important. We are landed, and not too many merc households can say that, and not a letter of marque that goes from year to year. As long as Greyhold flag flies, we have land. We were paid in land. I think that is a major accomplishment. We started the Hydrobellums, which is the group that does we do a first aid. We make sure that nobody's dying on the field. We're making sure that it's not just oranges. We have amazing foods that are set out for people to eat. The purple fighter eggs.
If anybody's been to Australia war in the last 10 years, then they know the Hydrobellums.
Yeah.
You guys had a Mr. tent set up for people, for anybody who got overheated. They could come into this huge decahedron tent that you had with misters in there and relax and cool down. And you had backpack sprayers and all these amazing, this huge amount of food that you were and it wasn't just for, I know that you contract out as a mercenary household, including the Hydrobellums. But you guys don't care about that. You help anybody and everybody that comes around. And it was just, that is, to me, it's amazing.
Well, tape, when I put on armor and I go out and fight, I'm fighting against that different color tape. That's true. When I take that armor off and I'm out there and I'm doing Hydrobellum, tape doesn't matter. I don't look at tape. I don't look at the people. Other than to make sure that they're not overheated or anything else like that. But I'm not looking at them as a person. I have literally fed people that have trashed me afterwards. Okay. And I've literally made sure that they're okay. And basically we put out what we wanted when we came off the field. Because I have been brain boiled several occasions and I know what I wanted. And then we switched from Gatorade, which was it's just too strong to use in an extreme sport, which is an extreme sport. And I went to Pedialyte, and I remember for a couple of years, we just told people we couldn't tell these men that they were drinking Pedialyte and these women. So we were calling it super juice, okay, until we got busted with the bottles, So
tell us about what. Tell us about. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but this is a really exciting subject to me because you guys created something that didn't exist, and you called it a spectacular name. So tell us about the name. Hydrobellum.
Okay, Hydrobellum is as always it's a vulgar Latin. Hydro obviously is water, but bellum is also warriors. So basically Hydrobellum are water warriors. And our enemy isn't the people on the field. Our enemy is the weather. And that's our battle. Our battle is to keep fighters not to succumb to the weather. And we were real proud when we came up with that name.
And now the other reason why you guys did it was, I think, if I remember right, is that at that time they got rid of water bearing as an actual function.
Right, they desanctioned it. And they said that they were no longer, going to do anything. And I said, well, I haven't followed any rules so far. Why should I follow now? I'm going to create my own. Because I can't see, the nurse in me cannot allow that to happen. So it was like, what are we going to do? We're going to take it over. That's all. If, I'm not worried about it. So no one in 4 decades has ever gotten sick from anything we've eaten. So I'm not worried. And I have fed a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
and your whole operation that you had, I helped you guys a couple of years. Please excuse the traffic out here, but I live on a busy street and we have inconsiderate people. I watched your guys' operation on how you do this. It was amazing. It's a well-oiled machine. Everything was sanitized, double sanitized. Nobody was allowed to. There was nothing that anybody could touch or pass any kind of germs onto anybody, including the water bottles that you guys use. You use sport spray bottles, so that nobody can actually touch their lips to it or anything like that, or drink out of the same bottle or any of that.
And they were. We would soak them in rubbing alcohol. I'm not a big bleach believer. They would soak in rubbing alcohol for the next day. So, and if one did touch your mouth, they got pulled, and we sanitized it right there on the field and before we sent it back out.
Yeah, and you guys had a ton of them. I mean, how much money did you sink into that?
Into hydrobellum itself, or just in the years?
Into hydrobellum.
Oh, in the beginning, we sunk about $2,000. And then you figure each event, I spend anywhere, depending on the size of event, $1,000 to 1 year we did 5,000 because they had no water belling at all at Estrella. And every day I was dropping $1,000 on supplies. We would run in the morning at the Walmart and drop $1,000 on fruits and vegetables and Pedialyte. I mean, think about it. Pedialyte's pretty expensive. And then bring it back.
I'm gonna stop you. You did this as a fringy.
Yes, I am a proud fringy.
You did this as a fringy.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
We knew we were never going to be in court, and no one was going to ever pat us on the head or anything else like that. This is a group of people who I am extremely proud of. My household. My household is literally, I would be nothing without them. And we do it just for the pure joy of doing it. It's fun.
So I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry, but because the stuff you say is awesome, and I apologize for interrupting you. But your Greyhold is awesome. They're amazing, and the fact that you did this stuff because why did you think or know that you weren't going to be recognized in court, or you weren't going to be welcome? Or not even maybe welcome, or just the fact that you just didn't think you could go? Is that
basically because surprise, we didn't follow the rules. We didn't sit pretty with the ladies in waiting, and I don't do that at all well anyway.
You mean you didn't follow traditions?
Right. Yeah. Traditions, but they seemed like rules. Okay, we didn't know the proper people. Okay, and we realized very early on that we weren't going to be that way. We realized very early on that wasn't going to happen. And so we had to make a decision. Are we going to have fun with what we're doing? Or are we going to go, wow, bummer. Nobody pays attention to us. Nobody pats us on the head. You know, nobody does anything. And we were like, okay, we're still going to have a blast doing what we're doing. Because we know when we're out on that field, no matter what they say to us off that field, they're damn grateful we're on that field. So that's kind of how it worked out.
So that actually leads into my next question. How are you guys successful in what you do? How are you successful in what you do? How do you do it?
I think fun. I have to tell you, fun is the biggest thing. If you're not going to have fun at doing something, don't do it. Well, we have a blast. Okay? I have a blast pre-war. When I'm making my eggs, I take pictures. I throw them on Facebook. Oh, fighter eggs are coming. You know, they're almost, you know, we're making them as fast as they're laying them. You know, and they're coming from my ranch, or they were coming from local sources or whatever. So to me, it's part of the service to the dream. The dream part I take very seriously. Okay. And the dream part I try to live even outside the game. So to me, the game and my real life have kind of blended together, and they coexist very well.
So it's basically you guys just do your own thing, have fun.
Pretty much. You know, and then after it took a couple of decades. You were one person that was very instrumental in me getting my AOA after 25 years.
No, I just pointed you out to someone, and you did that all on your own.
Well, if I remember correctly,
enamored her.
If I remember correctly, she was not very impressed when you first introduced me. It wasn't until she came off the field, I believe she grabbed you and wanted to know who I was.
Yeah. And the hydrobellums did it too. When she saw you in your element, you know, not on the field, but in your actual element with the hydrobellums, and we call you the tiniest Titan. So you're just going to have to deal with that. But we call you the tiniest Titan because we've seen you take 400-pound men and make them sit down and drink water.
Yeah.
And we've seen you take the biggest, blusteriest person in the world and reduce them to this tall because they're about ready to pass out. And they're trying to be all tough about it. And you have sat them down and made them drink, which is, we find absolutely hilarious. And so it's she. And that was when she saw you in your element. That's when she was like, oh my gosh. Then we started talking about it. And that's when she found out that you didn't have your AOA, that you didn't have anything like that. And she's like, well, that's bullshit. We're doing something about it now. And there you go.
Yeah, it made me look like an idiot, brain boiled on the field. Thank you very much, all my friendly mercs sitting around, as I don't recognize the king. And he's offering an AOL, and I turn around to look at my people because I would never accept anything from anybody without their approval. And you all are sitting there going, don't you dare say no. Still not realizing it's the king, because, you know, I'd been out on the field all day long. And then I was running around with my camera, and you kept bringing the leash back in, waiting for him. And I kept wandering off, taking pictures. I will tell you, that was the biggest surprise I ever got in my life.
Oh, no, there was one bigger. Or actually, there was three bigger. But the next one was the fact that that king came to our camp.
Oh, yes.
And serenaded you with a guitar and songs for half the night.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I don't know if it was also because you fed him, and Greyhold cooks like you had nobody's business. So that might be part of it. But
probably.
Probably. he stayed there a long time, drinking your mead and playing songs for you.
Yes, he did. He brought me to tears when he did the Rose of Atenville. I will tell you, he did, because at that point, I had not cut ties and become totally mercenary. And he impressed me because he was the first person of leadership that actually talked to me. I remember telling him, you may have ruined your political SCA career by giving me an AOA. And he was like, I don't care, I'm the king. And I'm like, okay. and then more recognition. Sir Conrad was an amazing recognition when he stood on the field. And he literally bellowed out, when I buy Greyhold, I get more than what I paid for. And then, Outlands hiring me was major. Baron Jason, who first hired me.
That's Citadel of Southern Pass, right?
Huh?
The Baron of Citadel of Southern Pass, right?
Yeah, I think he was, because then George and Ellie, who then did even more. I got so much paper, and I've gotten so many awards from them for the work I do and the work that Greyhold does. It's not me. I shouldn't say me. I'm just the only one sitting here. It's really all of Greyhold. We're a little tight community. And when you do something, when one does something, they do it for all of Greyhold. Is what they do.
Yeah, and that is the same for Black Company. I wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, as a leader, it's really your people that are more important. I basically consider myself a humble servant to my people. That's what a queen is a humble servant of their people, because making sure my people are taken care of, making sure that my people are happy, making sure that my people are having a good time and they're learning and they're enjoying it. That's my job. My job isn't just to sit there and go, hi, everybody calls me Queenie Pooh. No, I have to teach by example. I'm washing the dishes. I'm hauling the water. I'm emptying out the trash cans. I'm doing everything. So when I ask somebody to do something, they realize I must be busy because I normally do that. So if I'm asking them, I must be stuck in something important. So they don't feel bad about having to do that chore because they've seen me do it.
Yeah.
I've done dead body. That's where the puke law came in, is I've gotten up early in the morning and done dead body pickup. And I stepped in it one morning, and that's when the rule of no puking in camp came around, which one of my elders has successfully avoided by getting sick and moving our fence.
So you mentioned that this actually did bring up an interesting thing. You were talking about you are the Queen of Greyhold. And that's it. You are. And that actually caused a little stink in the way back when, because people were calling you Queen Tina and Queenie, and people didn't understand the connotation of it.
Yeah, they thought I was either making fun or stepping over my boundaries by being called queen, when very simply, we are a feline household. And when a cat gives birth, and we are a cat household, they're called a queen. So it was a natural assumption, because I was starting this household and I was, putting all the money in it, and I, was putting people together with it and holding them up. I kind of gave birth to it. So Queenie Pooh just happened to come out, and they got real offended by that, not realizing that it had nothing to do with them whatsoever. It's just the natural way our house worked. It's a feline household.
Right.
So the name Queen was extremely fitting for our household. And they got real offended about it. I don't think I've had some kings and knights now that call me Queenie Pooh all the time, or call me Queen, or Little Queen, or Hobbit Queen, and anything else that comes their way. Like, yeah, I'm a little short, I admit to it, but I have a voice. I have a voice that can go across a battlefield.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to our next question, and that was, what would you have done differently?
You know, I thought about that question, and I honestly, amazingly put some effort into it. And I don't think I would do anything differently, because what we learned through what we did, I have some regretful moments. Okay. But they're basically, I may have hurt a feeling. I may have hurt somebody's feeling in my household, not meaning to. Okay. Those are regrets, but I also learned from them that I have to learn to, at all times, be queen. And that means that you can't be a jackass. Okay. Honestly. But for anything else, if I did anything different, we might not be where we are today. So I honestly can say all the good and the bad. The mistakes that were made were lessons learned to do better. So I don't think I would change anything. I got to tell you,
it's kind of rough, isn't it? Because you went through hardships. Your people went through hardship, but you got to where you are now because of them, because of the hardships, and because
right.
And you became a family because of it. If everything was unicorns and rainbow farts, it would, would it have still been a close family group? Maybe.
No, because I think we banded together to create a show of force, or we banded together to create a shield wall, or we banded together tighter because we weren't going to let anyone tear us down. So I think those bad times that happened brought us closer and made us stronger. And we're a very stubborn group. Oh, Lord Almighty. Oh, God. Extremely stubborn. So I think that plays a big part in it, too. It's like, okay, you're not going to wreck our fun. Okay, you're not going to do it. We don't care what you say, what you do. You're not going to wreck our fun.
So so you can see that there's been this trend in the last 10 years in the SCA of things getting better and people working their ass off to make it better.
Yeah.
And what should we do to make it better? And I'm saying we, as everyone. That's everyone, everyone in the society wide. What should we do to make things better?
I think first of all, I think that modern issues need to be taken out of a medieval game set. And right now we have a lot of modern issues that are worming their way in, and that needs to be stopped. This is a hobby. This is a dream, and it's a very expensive game we play. This is not cheap. Okay? And when you put that kind of money in, we need people to realize that it doesn't matter. We have a time limit from 1300 to 1624. That time limit is the time limit that you can play, research, do your A&S. That's the time period. It is not a geographical place. It is a time period. And that was an amazing time period because we started to have open trade. We started learning from other cultures. We started.
And you're talking about Greyhold, because that's in the SCA society wide. It's basically up to 1600 because it's up to 1600.
I thought BOD had 1624 as the cutoff date.
Right, and then anything prior to that is fair game.
Fair game.
Yeah, they don't have a bottom one anymore. It used to be what was it, 600 to 1600? Now there's no bottom.
Oh well, they've taken because I thought it was 13.
No, so yeah, the bottom's gone.
Okay, now see, and I don't keep a lot of track of that stuff because we're in a certain area.
Because we play, we have fun.
Yeah, in our households it's mixed. We have pirates, you know.
Well, and the other thing too is that even though we are fringies, we know the BOD rules, and we get the newsletters. We pay attention to all that stuff. We're
members.
Some things we don't, but the important stuff we do, and which is really interesting.
I actually have a copy of BOD downloaded on hard paper in a notebook, because there was times where I was confronted, and I don't go into battle unarmed, so I'm not going to go into this battle unarmed. So when they would say something, I would go, no, here, look at this. This is what the BOD says. Okay. So you really can't say that to me because it's right here on paper.
Right.
And I kept one for the Kyurgens. I kept one for combat rules. I downloaded the entire thing, put them in notebooks. They stayed on site. We had them on site. We had a little library, and it was all the rules of the SCA in every aspect of it.
It's funny how we all did the same thing. We all had notebooks. We all had stuff that we share, and that'll actually come into play later on in my show, which is kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I think we stole that idea from you.
Well, and you know what? I don't think so much it was stolen, but when you see a good idea, and I'm a firm believer of, knowledge not shared is knowledge wasted. Okay. And that's why it bothers me sometimes where someone new will come up and they go, oh my God, how do you make this? Or how do you make that? And you watch a peer go and literally blow them off or go, oh, you have to learn yourself. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. If I have knowledge of something and I don't share it, I'm wasting that knowledge. So I'm going to share that knowledge. Okay, I'm going to teach a class on this. I'm going to teach a class. I want teachers to come in. I want them to educate. I mean,
I remember an event where you guys offered to teach classes with the local constabulary, and they didn't want you guys to teach classes. So you had classes at your camp.
Yeah.
And you put notices in the privies that you had classes at your camp.
Yeah, and they came.
And they flooded your camp.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we tried to play with you. Now we're going to go over here and we're going to play.
Yeah, and see, people right now, I don't know, I have no idea how many people will see this, but there are people out there that never realize that this stuff has happened or that this stuff had happened. And most of the time it comes down to only a very small group of people who are exerting this negative pressure. It's not everybody. It's not an entire kingdom. It's not all the people.
No. It's usually
somebody who didn't like you, or somebody has an axe to grind, or something like that.
Or they didn't like several was my gender. Okay.
Right.
That in the very beginning, that played a big part. My gender. And then the Queenie thing caused some issues. But they were all issues that we just, it was like, okay, no one's asking you to come into our camp. Okay. There is nobody forcibly ties you up and makes you come into Greyhold camp.
Not true.
No, I didn't. Your brother made an appointment to be ransomed off. Don't do that.
So, so what can we do? We've already been changing it, and we've been changing it by really not doing anything other than doing what we do.
Yeah, and I think we've changed it a lot.
And we're seeing our houses are huge.
Yeah, and we're seeing other people take on. I love when I see a new persona of a different age or a different culture. Those are the people I'll go to and I'll talk to them, and I'll say, "Oh my God, you know, I get part of what you're."
Mayan, I've seen a Maori, I've seen First Nation, and man, I love it. I love it.
Those are the people we invite into our camp. Please come into our camp, have a drink. Here's some food. Tell us about your persona. What are you doing? Or if they're lost, it's like, we're the first ones that'll grab somebody lost that looks lost. And we'll go up to them and we'll say, hey, you look kind of lost. What's going on? I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what to do. Well, why don't you come hang out with us and we'll show you. We'll show you a good time.
What we could boil this all down to is communication.
Communication.
Thoughtful interaction with new people.
Don't walk past that person who looks lost. Don't walk past that person who is on the field. I'm big on this one too, on the field. You'll see them standing way off in the corner, and they're just standing and they're watching, and you can see, if you know people, you can read body language. They want to ask and they don't know how. I'm not above grabbing that person and say, you need to come over here. If you've got a question, ask. And they're like, well, what are you doing? Well, we're making sure they're okay. They're taking a break. You want to take some water out to them? And then they get compliments, and they come back and they feel really good about themselves because someone has called them, oh my God, you're a god, or my God, you're a goddess and you're beautiful and we love you. And suddenly,
every single person that we see on that battlefield that's out there with water or walking around and helping, everybody should be thanking them. Every single person out there should be thanking them. If I see them, they get thanked. They get their hand. I shake their hands. They say, "Oh, thank you so much." Especially the kids. The kids. So thoughtful communication. And just reaching out, I guess, would be the way to say that.
And I've seen these people, literally, you see them blossom in a matter of an afternoon. Suddenly, and they're not afraid to ask. They'll come up and they'll start talking to us as we're cutting and stuff, and they'll go, okay, about this battle. And, one of us will go, well, I work siege engine, or I've done hard suit fighting, but now I'm a crossbow. And, the guys will come up because even the men in my household are water bearers. They will go out there. Like I said, no job is too small and no job is gender specific in my house. We just pitch in. That's it. Pitch in. That's the key word. We pitch in to get the job done. That's the key right there. And they come back and these people have blossomed. I've seen teenagers. God, I'm big on teenagers who are standing around and they don't know what to do. And I'm like, come on over here. You have just become a hydrobellum. Now, this is what you do. Okay? And if somebody gives you gruff, threaten them with my name. If they say they're not going to drink, tell them you're going to go tell Queenie Pooh. And they will drink. And they come back, and this one guy said he wasn't going to take anything. And I said I would tell Queenie Pooh. And he took the thing and drank it. And they're, and then we make sure that we have gifts that we give out at the end. We always have gifts, something, it's jewelry, or we do the salts, and we do the period things. Salt is very period because it comes the Latin from salary, which was Romans were paid for fighting. They were given an issue of salt. So now we do get a little crazy with the black salt and the Himalayan pink salt, and
Now you're speaking
we
my
have
language.
I know. And, we start to have fun with it. And they're so surprised that they get a gift at the end of this, and it's like, no, you're a merc. You did a merc's job. You get a merc's pay. That's what being a merc's about, and then these teenagers walk around and I see them proudly wearing the rest of the war, whatever we gave them. And it's like their piece of jewelry for the event, and they'll come running up. Can we help again? Of course you can. I'll hire you on the spot. I think what we need to do is make people feel welcome. And that's an art. And it means you have to take time out of your busy day and you have to say, okay, I'm going to take, even if it's 5 minutes, I'm going to make this person feel welcome coming into a game I'm already very well established in. I'm not going to push them away because, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy. No, it's like, you know what? No, I got a few minutes here. What questions do you have? And I think that's what we're going to have. If we have more fun and less politics going on, I think it's going to be much better. Much better.
Absolutely. So
really,
we're going to take a little bit of a break. We actually have sponsors. Woo!
Whoa!
Yeah, we have sponsors. Woo! So
you're almost like big people.
Well, I hope so. Someday to grow up, maybe. I don't know.
No, that grow up thing.
How about commercial? Commercial! Boy, that looked good, didn't it?
It did. That was a nice commercial. I'm like going, well, I know them.
And soon Greyhold Ranch will be on there too, right?
Yes. I would love to be a sponsor. I think this is a wonderful idea. I can't wait to tune in and make you part of my weekly thing.
Awesome.
It's been great.
This segment is called the meaty segment. This is the big questions. So strap in, baby.
All right, hang on, wait. Wait, hydrate. Always hydrate.
Hydrate. Hail, hydrate.
Hydrate.
So,
okay.
What was the worst thing that's ever happened to you in the game?
It wasn't so much to me. It was the fact
No, about you.
About me.
Yeah.
When I was,
you will talk about everybody else, and you will champion everybody else, but you don't usually talk about yourself.
The worst thing that ever happened to me is when I was publicly on a public forum. I was attacked. I was attacked as being a fringy. They accused me of not having a membership, which they had to take back because they looked in the records and realized I'd been a member since they'd been in diapers. They accused my family of treating people extremely poorly. The quote was like a slave, which is something that has never, ever happened. And involved Robert, who that hurt me. That hurt me a lot because the man, one, did not really play the game. He came out for feast night, but that man supported a lot of the money we put in to feed these people and hydrobellum those people. And they attacked him. That was probably the worst thing that I had to fight through.
For those watching, Robert was a really good friend of mine, and it was Tina's husband, and was a fantastic man, and he passed away from cancer.
Yes, he was a sweetheart.
He was freaking amazing. So to accuse that guy of anything is Yeah.
was horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible. And it was such a lie because he was the kindest, sweetest man in the world and would never treat anybody without respect and dignity. No. And so that, if I had to say there was one black spot in all of it, that was the darkest spot. That was the spot that was, I almost left. I almost walked away.
Do you know why it happened?
They had, I don't know why they hated me. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't have a lot of interaction with them. So I really I cannot give you an answer. They would have to give an answer because I don't know. I know I fought back.
Other than the fact that you were a strong woman with a growing house, fringy household?
Yeah, I think so. I was an innie, not an outie. Yeah. I think, and that was, it wasn't based, they didn't know me personally, so they didn't know my personality. I mean, if you hate me because I'm an asshole, more power to you. I am one. But don't hate me because I happen to be a woman who thinks that she can do something. And don't try to knock it down. You should be uplifting it. But that was the darkest part. I almost left the game at that point.
So what was done about it?
I fought back. I said, you need to look and find out how long I've been a member. And
what's strange to me is that you're not required to be a member of the SCA to attend events or to go places. You don't need to be a member. So that's just very strange.
No, but a member gives me voting powers in BOD.
Okay. And baronial elections. Right.
Okay. It gives that membership does have power to it. And as in anything, you want your armor to be the best armor you got when you're going into battle. Membership was part of that armor.
Absolutely.
And it also helps support the game. You know?
Yep.
Absolutely. So you, of course, you know, I may be a fringy, but I'm part of the game. I use the porta potties. I use the shower things. I pay the membership because I'm using those things. Except when we bring our own showers in and our kitchen sink and all the other things we have because do that. That's what we do.
And then, so now you get to indulge your momness. And what was the worst thing that happened to someone else?
I've seen people walk away, and not more than one person. I've seen people walk away in tears, and I couldn't even console them, and they left the game because of the way they were treated. And there was nothing we could do to console them. They were treated so badly, and it would make me so angry. And I had voiced it on several occasions, which probably did not make me a lot of friends in high places, because I said, this is terrible that you've made these people feel so unwelcome that they're in tears and they're leaving in the middle of an event that they paid for. That was the worst. And it's happened. I've seen it happen several times.
And what caused it? What?
They were just being treated. They came in, they heard this big grand old story about how great it would be to be in this house, and you're going to be a prosperate, or whatever they call, you know, someone coming into their household. We call them guests. Okay. But there are other names. And so they worked all day long, and they were doing really bad jobs. They were doing all the jobs nobody else wanted to do. And they'd be really tired, and nobody would really care. So I think that's the worst thing.
So they were basically used as serfs.
Servants, yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm going to sit on my butt, and you're going to do all my work for me. and that's kind of hard to get up. You'll have to excuse me, my battery's running a little low. You have to get up and start breakfast, and you're cleaning the breakfast, and all day long you're feeding, you're cleaning up after people, you're running around, and then at night you're not included in their party. That's not right. Not at all.
Yeah, and so do you think that comes from people who feel entitled, or that they're from
Charlie,
been in the
can you
game so
plug me
long
in?
that they're their old guard, like, because they've been in so long they don't think they have to do that stuff?
Right down here. I am so sorry. My computer is dying. So I've got people coming in and cleaning. Oh, it's right there.
Hey, that was a pretty handsome guy there. That's actually my father. So hopefully we can get Tina back. If we can't, we were expecting something like might happen, because she is in a very, very remote area of New Mexico, and their internet connections is sometimes spotty, and we were doing pretty good here. But if she doesn't come back here within the next minute or so, we'll just continue with the rest of the show, and try and maybe have her return as a returning guest or something if it doesn't work. But one of the things that she was talking about it seems like, to me, it's always felt that way, that when we have people who've been in a long time, they kind of get tired, and they get and they're part of the cool club, or their peers or whatever, and they get to where they just don't feel like doing those things again because they've done so much of it all their life. I think that's where a separation can happen, to where they have younger people to do the job, that they'll do the work, so they'll just have them do the work, and they just don't do it anymore because they've done it for the last 30, 40 years. Well, we can't do that. We can't be that way. Even the old guard people out there, we can't do that. We can't be that way. Somehow you're going to have to reintroduce your youth, reintroduce yourself to what it felt like being those kids, and just reach your hand out. So, and I have a funny feeling, she may not make it back in, which is fine, it's a bummer, but it happens. One of the other things that Tina mentioned was that she had seen a lot of it, and that just hurts my heart to hear that, because I have too. A lot of us have seen this same thing happen, and a lot of those people are not, they're not consolable. You can't get them back, and which is a huge loss for our game. So maybe in the future we can just try to do better. And doesn't matter if you're having a bad day. Oh, looky there.
Hi, I'm back. So sorry. Technology, dumb Viking, dirty Mark. I got it back up.
I don't shut up, so I just did a running dialogue because I don't shut up.
That's okay. There was a lot of scrambling to plug things in and get back on.
Yeah, and I happen to mention that you had a shoe in for this episode because of that gentleman behind you who was helping you out.
Yeah, your dad is going over there to unplug things because I'm in a panic. Being the superhero he is, and a damn fine archer or crossbowman, may I add.
Who took the field at 78 for the first time.
Yep.
And fought, and he's fought in 4 wars now, and had a body count of 32 in one day. Yeah.
Yep.
That's my pop.
That's our superhero.
So I know we kind of exhausted, I think, the worst case scenario stuff that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the best things that you've seen happen to someone, or happen to you? Excuse me. What was one of the best things?
The best thing, actually, the bad things are so small that everything else has been the best thing. Meeting Black Company and the mercs, and meeting other mercs, and traveling to outside like Antier. Antier was an amazing experience for me.
West Frontier War, yeah.
Oh, it not only was the site beautiful, but the people had never seen anything hydrobellum before, and they were amazed, and they were so thankful, and they were people that I knew from other places. So I wasn't a stranger in a strange land. I was just in a different land. And
yeah, they
that
knew you
was
from
amazing.
Western War, from Australia, and they asked about you every year. They asked about you if you guys were coming back.
Oh, I'll be coming back. I'll be coming back. Yeah, you know.
All right.
Oh well, yeah. That's a
we
wonderful war. That. I mean, to wake up and see the fog coming in from the ocean, and the smokes from the breakfast fires, and whoever had that word I don't use that was so good, that ramen place that had some of the best food I've ever eaten, to the blackberry bushes. I mean, no, the dark, ugly things are so small and so insignificant over time that everything is amazing. The last Outlands, the Baron and Baroness came up to me and gave me, I guess they only make 20 of these, and they give it to people who they think have really gone a step beyond. And I was handed one. I was kidnapped to get it, because we know I don't go to court. And I was, I literally was screaming.
You're usually cooking.
Yeah, it's dinner time. I have people to feed. I don't have time for court. I have to feed my people. But they were going, they came in a car. They said, I need you to help me do something. I got in the car and they said, I've been ordered to kidnap you. And I'm like screaming out of the car, I'm being kidnapped. And I've got George and Ellie just laughing at me. They're no help. My own people are no help. I'm like, God, where's the loyalty?
Yeah, they're like, bye.
Yeah, bye. And so it's a beautiful metal medallion of Outlandish that I was handed. That is a big thing. I have a lot of paper, beautiful scrolls that have been written that hang all over.
You have a court barony, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, there's if you can get past the dark part, and you find that fun place again, the dark part it ends up going away. Or I would not have been in this game for 40 years. I would have left a long, long time ago, because I put close to $200,000, over $200,000 playing this game for 40 years. Easily. So it's an expensive game. So you better enjoy it.
Yeah. So now your
because
favorite
if you're not, you need some therapy, okay? Because now you're paying to punish yourself.
Well, some people pay extra.
Only on full moons, and my prices are reasonable.
So now, your favorite question, because I know that's just how you are, is what was the best thing that's happened to someone else?
What's the best thing that's happened?
Yeah.
Okay. The group of people that I have in my household. They are people that have been Mama Dawn has been from the very beginning.
Yep.
We are so close. She has Greyhold Farms in Ohio, and I have Greyhold Ranch out here. Watching, I had teenagers, and they are now growing, and they have their families, and they're having babies, and I've gotten to be a part of that. That is so wonderful. That it's a life on itself. It's like Greyhold took on its own life, and the fact that we keep in touch and we talk and we FaceTime, and my elders come and they fly in and they spend time. Amber, Princess Giggles the Angry, and Stiletto will come down.
You jumped over that one real quick.
I cleaned that up as fast as I could. Which, by the way, they allowed in because it's Latin for pleasing women. They let that name go in. Okay, I'm sure they looked at it a lot, but they had to let it pass because it was Latin. They come down for holidays. We keep in touch. We became a family, a chosen family. And we're very involved, We watch like, Ozzy the Sick and Twisted, and their children are growing, and Marcus and his wife, and our little shield maiden Gretchen, who's like 4, and I swear to God, she got some of me in her because she is a mouthiest, wonderful little redhead in the world. It's the people that we've met. You guys, my God, I love you. Okay. I love you like a brother. You are my brother. Okay. That I think is the greatest thing that's ever happened, is the people, and is the moments around a campfire where a joke comes out that throws everybody on the ground.
We always know when you're up too, when we're camped next to you, because we hear you.
Oh yeah. Quiet is not in our vocabulary. It's just like...
No, we usually come running over because you're laughing hysterically, and we got to know what it is.
Yeah, well, the day Conrad goes, oh my God, can somebody do something? It's my wife's birthday. And Greyhold, in 20 minutes, had literally set out a birthday bash, lighted candles all over the outside, the flame going. She was completely taken by surprise, and she was so grateful, and we were just having a good time. We were having a blast with it. Those, I think, are the most important times, and the funny things, like when I wear my brass balls, and I was I was patching up this guy's nose, and I had a woman holding his hair back, and he goes, "A lady's never held my hair back like that." And I said, "Well, the way you're watching my brass ball swing, I can understand why," which destroyed. And I said, "And now there's nothing you can do until I'm done patching you up. You can't ease out of this. You just got to sit through it now." I mean, I have a million of those.
That still doesn't beat you pulling cactus out of somebody's butt.
Oh yeah, cactus is in the middle of a battle. I believe we were doing it. The nurse took over. He had cactuses in his ass. I had him taken out.
He is now officially called Cactus Ass.
Yes, and the day that you got mad at me because someone finally took my hit, and I dropped my weapon and did a happy dance, and someone took my hit. And you're screaming from the sidelines, "It's not over with. Pick up your weapon." You're losing your mind on me. These every little one of these minutes, and they're minutes of pure absolute joy. When you stuck me in the bushes and they didn't know I was in there, and you were jabbing them, chased through, and I was knocking them, and they couldn't see me because I was wearing green armor. And I'm in a tree, and I'm just bopping them on the head as they're going through like little bunny rabbits. And it wasn't until I started cackling, or the time you're yelling at the newbies that they gotta follow the pussy policy, and we're sneaking out while you're yelling at these guys, and you're finally like, they're gone. Now you've got to find them. You know, there are a million of those moments that make the joy that lasts forever.
I love you, Tina.
I love you too, dude. You're so awesome.
So we have a thing. I'm going to use Greyhold. Your household is the best thing, and all your chosen family, because we have something that's called a shout out. And what we do with the shout out is we like to throw people under the bus for just being good people. And so one of the things that we've kind of done is we do a shout out and we actually throw them under the bus. And your shout out was Greyhold.
Oh my God. That is beautiful.
So you have a bunch of people in your household. They're, just name a bunch of them.
Oh my God. Okay. Princess Giggles the Angry, Mama Dawn, Ozzy the Sick and Twisted, Marcus the Spicy, oh my God, Cherry, Cherry, oh my God, there's so many. I keep going. Everybody who's on Greyhold's our a Facebook page. You're all family and you're all friends. So if you're on that page, the shout out is to you. To the people that actually follow me into insanity and they do it laughing. These are all those people that should be thrown under the bus. These people that go, she's going to do what? Okay, let's go. Throw them under the bus. It's Greyhold. Greyhold goes under the bus. These people are the most amazing people in the world. And I cannot, every day I am humbled by them. I'm humbled that they listen to me. I'm humbled that they laugh with me. They cry with me. I laugh and I cry with them. We've had terrible personal times that we have stuck together and have hanged on to each other. We've had great joyous times where we just shouted out to everybody. No, it's the people of Greyhold. Awesome. They are the most awesome people in the world. I could not have guessed how wonderful these people are and how humble I am by them. I am. They're probably the few things that humble me is the people in my household.
They're amazing. They're just they're amazing people.
They are amazing people.
They work, hundreds of hours before, during, and after events, and they're just amazing people. But I just want to tell you, Tina, that Lady Vincetta, Her Excellency Lady Vincetta, that we love you. We love Greyhold. We love all of you guys, and especially the fact that you put up with my dad, and that
we're trying to find things to break so he stays later.
Break his truck.
No, things he has to fix.
So
I'm not touching that truck. I'm not stupid.
So we're going to need to finish up. But one of the things that I've always wanted you to know is that you're an inspiration to me, to my family, to my children, to everyone who knows you. And
oh my God.
At first, they think, you're a little scrappy, you're a little rough around the edges, whatever because you are.
I am.
But you are probably one of the most honorable people I've ever met. And you saved me and my lady's life, and you saved our dignity And everybody out there needs to know how amazing a person you are. And I wanted everybody to know that, and that's why I have you here. And that's why I wanted.
Oh, thank you very much. That's so touching.
But so I'm going to have to let you go. And I am actually going to be doing a segment that we call Being Real. And it's where I read a letter that I got from someone about their experiences. But also after that, I do something that's called Ask Lash. So if anybody has any questions for me they would like me to try and answer, you guys can put it in the comments. And while I do the Being Real, and Lady Vincetta, you are more than welcome to hang out in the lobby and watch the rest of the show if you'd like. But again, thank you so much for being on here. You honor me greatly by being here, and I just want you to know I love you.
God, you honored me by asking me. I was quite shocked. And darling, I love you guys more than life. It's amazing. You are beautiful people, and I am so fortunate that you are part of my life. You, Black Company, allied to Black Company,
everybody in the SCA.
Blackjack and hookers, the whole groups, okay? It's wonderful to be part of such a family, and I'm honored that I'm allowed to be part of that kind of family. So
we love you, and you have a fantastic night, and I'm going to keep on going.
You do that, darling. I got to go feed baby kittens.
So this is my I got a little bit emotional there because Tina literally did save our lives, and she is way too humble of a person to mention some of the things that happened in her life. She tough lady, grew up on her own, put herself through school, put herself through nursing school, did everything on her own, and I can't say enough about her. But this is the next segment of my show called Being Real. This is it's kind of a work in progress segment for people to send in things that happened with them and things that has happened to them. Hopefully this can help people get closure into something that was traumatic for them, or help other people realize that what they say and what they do matters, that and how it affects other people and things that they do. If you have something that you would like read on here, I would be more than happy to do it. You can share with me or contact the show on Kalbardr's Korner and leave messages there. And all the subject matter is anonymous, but it is factually verified. And it is, again, the story of a person sending it in so that this is actually their account. Dear Lash, I want to let you know what happened to me and my family when we started as newbies in the game. We saw some guys fighting in armor in one of our local parks, thought it was cool. As me and my family went down, we started noticing we were getting crappy looks from people, probably because we are bikers. We spent a half an hour walking around trying to tell people, talk to people, and see how things were going, and got the cold shoulder. We did hear that they had practices there once a week, so we came back next week. Again, dirty looks and crickets. We were ignored. Nobody would talk to us. I walked up to somebody and asked them how things are going and what they were doing. A guy grumbled something about, talk to that guy over there with the white belt. He runs it. Okay, I go and I talk to him. I ask him how it all works. He blew me off, mumbled a lot of stuff and told me he was busy and that it might not be for us. This pissed me off. So for whatever reason, mainly because I'm a stubborn person, we went back a third time trying to find somebody to talk to. Finally, a person talked to us, told us what it was, what was going on, and told us that there was an event coming up that we should go to, that they would help us with everything we need. We thought, fantastic, finally. We showed up to this person's place. They helped us into armor, but said we had to wear a tabard as it was required. It had their house colors on it. A little weird, but no problem. The next week, we were thrown onto a battlefield to fight with no training, no authorizations, not knowing what we were doing. Just being told to stand here hold your shield up. We got hammered and hurt, so we walked off the field. The person that sent us out came over and started yelling at us to get back on the field, as they were going to be guarding the king. We followed them to this king and sat through a long, flowery speech from this person to the king, pledging all of us as their household into fealty to the crown. We didn't get it, but we just followed along. Come to find out much later, not only were we used by this person as stepping stones to flesh out their squad so that they could grandstand in front of the current king and queen, we found out they had crossed a lot of people, did a lot of bad things to try and elevate themselves, and now we were associated with them. We heard that we had crossed a very prominent mercenary household. This household's leaders were looking for the head of my quote-unquote household for the severe breach of honor in a merc contract. We didn't know much about the game or anything of the inner workings, but we do know honor. When we found this out, we decided we were going to quit and just walk away from the whole thing. A gentleman next to us heard us and said, "Hey, don't do that. I know that guy. Let's go talk to him. He's a great guy." So we met this guy. He was a fringie, as they called it at the time, and a mercenary warlord. I found out later that meant he set up contracts for other mercenary households for war. He was gracious, kind, and understanding. He showed us where the websites were for the SCA, his contact info, and what the core beliefs and values of the SCA society. He invited us to bring all of our things to their camp and camp with them so we could learn more. In 1 hour, they had printed copies of all the SCA rules and regulations and the current Marshal's Handbook. They sat down with us, helped us go over the rules, got us spare armor, and told us to give back what we borrowed until we can make our own, which they would show us how to do. They got a marshal to come over to authorize us, as we still wanted to fight. He was extremely apologetic to us for what we had been going through, and he understood, as he was a fringie too. He helped us in our training so that we could take the field the next day and actually have fun. We had a blast. This group protected us and taught us as we fought. We decided that we would join that household, and we've been solid members ever since. So tell people to reach out and be kind, please, Lash, that you don't know who you're turning down or putting the cold shoulder to. They could end up being those new people that built an entire period encampment in a week, fielded 5 fighters in a week, learned arts and sciences, and competed in arts and science competitions in a week. You just never know. So that's a tough one to unpack. You know, it's really a tough one because there isn't really a lot I can say about it on the main, because their issue was resolved by people who were in power, the marshals, the people who helped them. And so the original offense really is what we were talking about, you know, especially when everyone is entitled to attend official events. Everyone is entitled to go to fighter practices and other things. But at any event like that has an SCA moniker on it, so it needs to be welcoming for everyone, no matter what they look like. I'm just really shocked at this one, and we need to stop with the snap judgments on people's appearances or their whatever someone's preconceptions are. We need to get past that. We need to get past this is a great month for this too. I mean, this is LGBT, you know, and we need to get past all of that. We need to start looking at people as a great time. Sorry, I'm just really passionate about this, and really kind of upset about it. But always remember that you guys everyone is an ambassador to this game. If you play this game, you are at an event or you're somewhere, you are an ambassador. No matter if you're only your 3rd event or your 300th event, you're an ambassador, and we got to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. Luckily, we retain these people. So, yeah, it's a real, wow. So, sorry, I got kind of irritated with that one, but so we have our next segment is called Ask Lash, and I I don't know if Justin has gotten. Oh, did you get some questions, Justin? Oh, this is sorry if you missed this, but why are people upset about mercenary personas? I think it has to do with because people are highly invested in fealty, and there are a lot of people out there who play the game as knights and squires and kings and queens and princes and princesses and who are fiercely loyal to their kingdoms, and a lot of them feel that that's the way everybody should be. And I say a lot, but there isn't a whole lot of people that are, adamantly about it, but there are some. The whole idea of getting paid to fight and being a mercenary, the mercenary has actually been kind of a black sheep because all throughout history you have mercenaries fought everywhere. Our group Black Company is named after a 12th century group of mercenaries, and a lot of them had bad reps. A lot of them had horrible reputations, and even now in the modern age of actual mercenaries and soldiers of fortune, they have a bad rap also because they live for the coin. And our personas, we live for the coin. We do contracts. We get paid. We get paid to fight. And that bothers some people because they believe we should be fighting for the honor of the kingdom. Well, we're playing a game. We're having fun. It's shtick, what we call shtick, which is theatrical fun in court. As a core belief, all the mercenaries out there, as a core belief, we believe in honor, we believe in truth, and we believe in all the people of the society, not just one kingdom. We're playing a role. We're playing something that we like to do because it's fun, and that's where I think the separation is. The separation is some people take this so seriously that they take it outside the game as being, even though that is at some point good, having chivalry outside the game and showing people what chivalry is outside the game. But some people take that out of the game to the nth degree. And so they can't see somebody separating it in their gameplay, much less on the outside. So I think that's why people get, are upset because we don't do what they think we should. That's a good question, by the way. Thanks for blasting me, Justin. Do we have another one? Megan, oh, my Black Company sister. I have a lot of people tell me mercenaries aren't, period. It is so frustrating. Have you had this happen, and what do you say to them? No, I have not had that said to me because most of the people that I interact with and been around know history. And that's a really how did you say mercenaries aren't, period? There were knights in the War of the Roses. There were knights who were mercenaries. They switched sides in the middle of battle by who had the most coin. The fall of Constantinople, the epic defense of Constantinople was by Giovanni, a Italian mercenary. I mean, how could it not be, period? Oh, yeah. No, I've not actually had anybody say that. Now, I have had people tell me that it just wasn't done in the SCA. And what I told them is, watch me. That was another good question. Oh, This is from my tech guy. Oh, you're gonna stump me, aren't you? How can we better award fringies for what they do behind the scenes? Well, I'll buy you some beer. No, by writing it in. I don't think people know or realize that they can write in for people to get awards and to get their AOA, to get other awards for the things that they do. Go into your kingdom's website. Find out, there should be a link there for award recommendations. If you can't find that, then there's going to be somebody you can ask on Facebook page or anywhere, or in your local shire or barony. There's somebody that can get you and help you to fill those out. But the one like the West Kingdom one's amazing. It's quick. It's got drop down menus. The only thing that you really do have to do is see if they have awards already, or just research what your kingdom's awards are, or your baronial or your principalities. Research what their awards are, and maybe even ask the seneschal or the heralds or somebody to help you say, hey, I want to get this new person an award. And they'll say, oh, well, they probably want an AOA. What's their name? Where are they from? And they'll help you out with that. And if they're a new and they're a fringy, they probably don't have any awards. But you definitely want to check. But there are a lot of people out there that would love to give awards. There's barons and princes and kings and queens and all these people who they love to give awards. So they really highly encourage everyone to put in those award recommendations. So do it. I do it at least. I make sure I do 3 every event I go to. I absolutely make sure that I do 3, because there's always deserving people, always, every event. So always do 3 every event you go to. And I think that'll help bring people out of their shells, bring them, more towards the center of the events by engaging in that way. Because let's face it, everybody loves getting awards. We all do, because we work hard in doing what we do. And including Justin, who puts up with me. And that's like epic. Oh my goodness. So my next one is what we call my Paul Harvey segment. It's kind of the kind of things you do when you're sitting at an event and around the campfire and you're talking with your friends, and then somebody waxes rhapsodic or somebody waxes philosophical, and they just pour this thing out of truths that you can take home with you. So for my final thing tonight, this is called my Paul Harvey segment. Some of my favorite people in the media was Paul Harvey and Mickey Rooney. They always had insightful things to make you think and to tickle your curiosity and to really pull you out of your shell. I'm not as eloquent as they are, but I do have some things to say. And we are rolling into impressive times where those who have been oppressors are being outed and put into the spotlight. And all across the board, including in our game, with our new diversity and equity and inclusiveness, what I call a revolution, which is just amazing. We're in Pride Month, which is epic. I think it should be called Pride Year, because last year I think was a mulligan. So why don't we call it 2 years? How about Pride Years? Because we've advanced in leaps and bounds, but we have a long way to go, and it's really, to me, not that hard to get there. But it's promising, and I'm excited. I'm hopeful, because people are finally being able to be who they are and be comfortable being around all of us with who they are, and that's very, very exciting. And in that same kind of context, I guess you could say, I was on social media a lot. I do Facebook a lot. I do Discord and other things. And I noticed that I was scrolling through a lot of things and I didn't like. And I realized maybe that's what we should be doing in life. Maybe we should be scrolling when we see something we don't agree with, but it's not hurting anyone or breaking the law. If we see protesters that we don't agree with, but it is something that they are passionate about, scroll by. Keep scrolling. Keep moving. It's their dream. Leave them alone. Why should we engage them? Because you don't believe in what they believe in, so you think they need to believe what you believe? No, I that's not what we do. Just scroll on by. Whether it's one side of the fence or the other, neither agrees with each other. So scroll on by. The way to make something die is to not give it any time, to not ignore it per se, but to not give it airtime, to not constantly putting in everybody's faces, to address it, to bring it out, say this is the white elephant, and then ignore it. Let it die. Don't bring it up anymore. Don't give them time. Don't give them airtime. Now, I'm not saying don't champion those things that we believe in, things that are reprehensible or against the law, things like that. I'm saying in our day-to-day life, just scroll by that stuff. Be happier. It's healthier. And just be a little more understanding of people. And just be the brick. Be the foundation. And you'll be happier, I think. So thank you for letting me vent my stuff and do this show, because I really do enjoy doing this. I wanted to thank everyone who's involved, Kalbardr and Leo, Livis and Justin and of course Black Company and all of you. And I'm hopefully, since you like this one, you want me to do another one. Join us next month, July 20th. We will have Captain Thomas of Dragon Watch, soon to be His Excellency Baron of Starkoffen, a hard-working, hard-drinking, soft-spoken gargoyle of the battlefield. You'll understand when you see him. Who also happens to be my squire. Don't hold that against him. He will explain at length, mainly because he is a fantastic person. He was fringy all his time, and put in a ridiculous amount of volunteer work in his time. So with that, check out the upcoming shows on Kalbardr's Korner. He has concert conversations. Should I Say Yes? On Sunday, June 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And on Wednesday is, What You Playing Wednesday? Liubo, hopefully I pronounced that right. Wednesday, June 30th at 6 p.m. to 7. And that's all I got. Love you all. Hugs to everyone. Be safe. See you next time. Same last time, same last channel.